all the directives to you, and computers would have given you all the directions as to who takes over next. So that's why the psychological contract and the emotional attachments are very, very important.
Can you specifically touch upon the succession management and leadership development? Because Tata has a very systematic way of developing its own leaders. So that the previous session can be best HR practices and leadership development can be correlated with the
Actually, this whole subject itself is so huge and robust, and it just cannot, will be doing injustice to if you ask me to just go through leadership program or a leadership issue on 2 minutes. It will be totally injustice, but nevertheless, I will try to touch upon. There is a robust delayering and a succession planning in a company, and again, the attachment to the companies are always given the maximum, and it's a philosophy which grows together. So the company and the person grows together, and finally your assessment. Again, the leadership role, how it comes to. There are certain jargons like there were talent review systems. And then with the talent review, there are 360-degree feedbacks. And with 360-degree feedbacks, there are personal development programs which are created. Personal development program is not just attending a training. So again, it can be on the job, it can be a managerial, it can be a functional, it can be technical. So that, of course, before that, you should understand that the person is trainable, the person has the material. It's a fact. And we believe that if a person has metal, it will shine. It will make noise. Without that, of course, there is no point trying to polish something which is not glazed or that will not shine. So those are the things. So basic traits are there, and then we have our own systems. Like one thing we follow is Tata business model. TBM we call it. It's more of an American system where the health of organization is assessed, and based on a lot of feedbacks are there. Business excellence model, and those business excellence model, if you take part, if you take part in such models or in such activities, the personal growth is tremendous other than the knowledge that you grow. So that's again, those are the exposures, and those are the one thing which I see or which I miss, that those excellence models in quite a lot of companies, they simply do not follow. So again, whether you take the human resource as an asset or a cost, the first thing is somebody asks, "Kya manager ko rakhne ke liye kitna paisa lagega?" So again, so you are basically aiming at a cost. No doubt, everybody will cost, but of course we will have to draw a very thin line between the asset and the cost. The human resource as an asset as a cost. And based on that, we need to have some measure. This one graduation that we have done in Tata Steel, I know, is a lot of subjectivities were there, and whenever there is a talent review, there are a lot of hue and cry. And that's why I have put that best within bracket. In the initial when I started, there cannot be any best practices in human resources. It is ever developing, it is ever improving. So in our company also we had seen that in a talent review we had a lot of halla, we had a lot of negotiations. Over a period of time, with all our experiences and feedbacks, it got developed. The only thing in here is that more and more measurable activities becomes. How good is a person or how good he is in deliveries, if it can be measured and it can be accounted for, I think that itself gives a result, and that has given a result. So it's a tremendous effort. Then the organization got a restructuring done in sometime 10, 12 years back. There, a lot of inputs were there that it was a bad restructuring, it was a good restructuring. A lot of young people were brought in, but a lot of young people were given higher positions. But over a period of time, it has settled at the average age of the company. Although the company is more than 100 years of time, but then the average age of the executives have come down. So that is how it has become more agile, nimble-footed. Because today the change and response is one of the major important factors in any company to thrive and improve. So that agility and nimble-footedness has to improve. And that is where, being a century-old company, so those things were a little missing. And those are what has come out. So these are some of the, restructuring, new things that has come up in Tata Steel that I know, and that has paid off. It's a huge activity, it's a huge reorganizational activity, and it requires a lot of courage. It might cripple the company, it can take the company, but nothing will happen in one day. It will take some time to settle down. I just flip to just next. Again, technology, competitive presence, slowly. Competitive presence, response to changes, as I talked about, these are important. Next. Again, the cost and asset part I was talking next. It's too light. Again, one thing, this is one for our slide, I'll just develop and finish off. In one thing, this is a pyramid that we follow in our growth. The vision that we co-create, and we know that we are all part of it. That is translated into activities through balanced scorecard. Again, that's the only jargon I'm using, Mr. Gupta. Sorry for that. Balanced scorecard is a tool that we use to, for next 5 years, where to reach and what are the actions that are required to do, what are the measurable units each year that we need to power up. And then from balanced scorecard, it cascades down into individual key result area. And then from key result area, it will cascade down to field service agreement, FSAs in each of the departments. And from FSA, it becomes the review, the talent review. Then from talent review, the personal development program and the reorder. Okay. So, if you have got any slides, so that's all again, that's the whole thing with this. Thank you for UCCI and the forum for giving me this opportunity. Thanks, Sir. Thank you.
Mihir would like to touch upon certain standard practices in HR management and also a case analysis.
At the outset, I'm thankful to Mr. Das for giving me this opportunity to say a few words. Some of my previous speakers said that they are misfit for this job. Exactly, I run a small organization that's a professional firm, but I don't have acumen and knowledge about all the jargon of the HR management. Out of my past experience, I'm going to share some of my opinions on this. Well, friends, now situation demands that I should start my talk with a small joke. That is, two friends were there. One friend was very smart, like Mr. Also, and another was dull like me. So one friend, he used to eat food at the hotel at free of cost. And the other friend, like me, he kept on asking, how is that you manage always a free meal in the hotel? He said, it's very simple. Like yesterday I went there and asked for a soup and added some color to it. And I said that, you see, after the food I ordered the soup and I told them, you see, your soup has got some additive, some color, some nonsense color into it. So then he said, well sir, we'll waive your bill completely. Go home, don't pay bill. Then I went, the friend like me, he went in the next day. He ate everything, and at the end he ordered for the soup. The waiter said, sir, today's soup is not there. And then he did not have the clue what to do. And he had to wash all the utensils in the hotel. So this is in a lighter vein. My purpose of saying this is that whatever I had to say, all my predecessors have already said. So that is the advantage of being, the end speakers, parenters. Like all the audience, you will not be interested to listen. You will be in a hurry to go. And second thing is, the job is made lighter by the predecessors. Anyway, this is in a lighter vein. Friends, we all will agree that human is the best creation and we are blessed. Anything ever created by the God. So that becomes, because human has the intelligence, that becomes easier on part of the management, on part of anybody to manage a human being. Well, because the human being is also associated with a lot of variables like emotions, jealousy, mood, greed, and so many things. That makes human being very unpredictable. And they don't behave equally like a machine in all the situations. So, like a machine manual, there cannot be a rigid HR policy. Our chairman has also rightly introduced this subject. So, what should be the policy? Like any professional, every manager faces two situations. That is usual, which can be handled by money. Another is unusual, where in the last session we discussed about intuition. That intuition has to come into play. When the situation is not usual, then the HR manager has to preempt things which is ruling or which is likely to rule and design a policy by which he can put things into place. Friends, I'll share some of experiences of my life. Like my younger son, he never used to write anything. When he was in DPS, he never used to write even at home, even at the school. So, but one day, at the end of the year, he got an award in the award ceremony, scholar ceremony. And I was surprised, and I asked, what is the reason? What is the award? Then they said that this is the remarkable improvement in the year he got in his particular class. Then I asked the teacher, you were saying that all the characteristic approach to punish him, to reward him, nothing worked. Then how did you manage to teach him that he should write? I said, sir, I did a small thing. He used to complete his writing, his task, as the last student in the class. But still, I made all the students in the class applaud for it. Always. That gave him the moral booster. Then he started writing. So this is nowhere, in no teacher's training this would have been taught. So she did that. Friends, another situation had come. One employee, while working in a machine shop, he died. And there was unrest in the factory. Total compensation as per Industrial Dispute Act, everything was given. But all the employees, they were not agreeing to stop the strike. Then the HR manager, what he did, he promised them a job to the wife, still it didn't work. Then at last, he made a very innovative idea, like putting up a statue in the factory premises. That appealed to everybody, and everybody, agreed to work again. Thank you. Well, before I forget, I'll just take 1 minute. And the finance department said, no, it is not a business-related expenditure. Income tax will not allow it, so I am not going to pay for this. The HR manager said, come what may, I am going to give put the expenses in the company's account or go ahead with the expenditure. And likewise, the finance manager thought, even the income tax people, they disallowed it. They said it is not related. This is the employee, anything you spend on him, it is not related expenditure, allowed expenditure. It went to the appeal also rejected, and in the tribunal, they held that putting up a statue of the employee keeps on boosting morale of the employees, those who look to that, and so the productivity also goes up with the morale. So it's a business-related expenditure. The income tax also allowed. You must have known after success of Chandrayaan, Mr. Kasturi Rangan got so many offers, so many applications from NASA professionals, even at a 5% of the salary what they used to get. So this is what, it is not the monetary benefit by which you can design a HR policy. It is always the understanding the need of the particular group of employees or a particular employee which will drive you. And like my predecessors, they have discussed about the Japanese model. Japanese model is a lifetime job model. They never fire anybody. if there is a need, then they outplace them in some other sister concerns. But I have a friend here who is working in Sri Ram Group. All of them, all of their employees, they work not in terms of years, in terms of decades. That's a quite a good thing. Otherwise, the Harisadu advertisement is quite rampant in India. People, employees, they take flying different jobs, how better they are managed. That is not